Sigures. So if you say that the state of mind which wrongly held that it existed by definition as existing by definition is described in their own school, if you say that that same state of mind perceived that this, when you look for the thing named kundak, you do find something called kundak, wouldn't it shift over over to the good states of mind? Because it was right about that. Oh boy. You've got a wrong state of mind. In the mind-only school, it's looking at kundak. It's thinking that nominal stuff, and it's thinking that this stuff does exist by definition as we describe what existing by definition means, which even according to them is a wrong state of mind. But if that same state of mind were to say to itself, if I look for the thing named nominal stuff, I do find something, ultimately, then wouldn't it, according to their school, shift over to the correct state of mind? Yeah. Didn't yaga the dogeres, yaga the ma pogeres. So now is he bad state of mind or good state of mind? Everything. Da yaga chona chimbre. Chetan yaga dire. But wouldn't you have to say it's sort of a mix? Yeah. Chega res. That's really too bad. You're going to amputate this mind into two parts and say, oh, this part's good, this part's good. Sounds like you're saying we got to split him in two now.
He's bringing us to the point that that's why we could say it's the same as Imaginmaker because it's no longer a mental image. Is that what he's trying to prove?
Oh, I know what you mean by that. I don't know. That did Josan come and do it. That picture, the Umag Tawala dog to West. Gang. So, question for you guys. In the school of the mind-only school, do they say that when you look at kundak things, right? When you look at nominally existing things, which for them, don't forget, is things that are like concepts or constructions. When you look at them, do they in their own school say that when you look for the thing which is given the name of that, do you find it, or do they say that you don't find it? Huh?
They say that you do find it.
Kola manyes, kola nyes. Tani tapi datun sawe chena manyes, kosena nyes. When you say they don't find it, what are you thinking of? Are you sticking Majimika in here or what?
So how can you find it? Oh, as I'm thinking of Majimika.
Oh, nga umala shoso. Yeah, didn't you? I have closed and locked the door in Majimika. I told you not to go there. In the mind-only school's own beliefs, when you look at something which exists by concepts, is it true that when you look for the thing that was given that name, do you find something? Yes. 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 Sometimes. So in the mind-only school, does that state of mind belong in the good minds or the bad states of mind? So that previous state of mind which said that it did exist by definition, as they describe existing by definition in their own school, which is a wrong state of mind, according to you, if it started thinking like that it did find something, then we'd have to move on over to the good states of mind. Right? Right. Nema rangi chani ki dupa yin se ki lodi dukcha de oh yaga di la putare es kan se ko tani tapita tin so se ne se ki chale
ta kenda to bcha no se dukcha ko yaga di la tang se na ngaro mi de ji na da bo ko lo chong da me pangla yin ko lo to jap jap ji khang da yin chi ma ko yaga ta ko dukcha ko yaga tan du ma.
You're describing, if we say it in terms of people, right? That there's some kind of bad person, like somebody who never studies, not interested in Dharma, never doing anything, and then suddenly you decide to promote him to the good side. Just with regard with people, that'd be a little weird, Like they don't change that quickly. Okay, to make up your mind, is he on the good side or the bad side?
I think half and half. Does he still think the other way? Does he still think?
Kotani tabi tatin like that. Didn't joy honest. The Yama determined my second, didn't Shabuchi Nijela, oh, no, I didn't determine a second, didn't in the younger days. People can change like that, but can a state of mind change like that? Did I joy Yamani? Ko man say some did done, ko you say some did a big galleries.
Kunda de Tangi, Kunda Rangitin, Chua, Zinging, Lo, Cope, Tipora, Lo to judge it was.
So you got two different states of mind here. You got one saying that these objects exist by definition according to the way we describe existing by definition, which is a lousy state of mind. And can that lousy state of mind suddenly say to itself, oh, when you look for the thing that's given the name nominal stuff, you do find it.
One state of mind can be false.
Taiwan yin second and Taiwan min said, did bet galleries. Yinaya, Rangitan do by years, the same time we lose Shisha Chebe, Rangitan do by years, and Tiny Tabi Dutton Sarah saying a year second in the Negamanes. Did Tumbore.
Good correcting to think that you are. Some thinking is some to junk, could I think to could I think to a tiny double something.
It's true with regard to nominal things that they don't exist by definition, and when you do go looking for the thing that got the name, you independent of the name, you do find it. Okay, those two things, according to the mind-only school, both apply to nominally existing things. But can the state of mind that says this does not exist by definition, this does exist by definition, all simultaneously say this, when you look for the thing that's given its name, you do find it? Can that happen?
No.
Kundala kitchen could do by years, lo did down. Kundala tiny tabitat and say, years, yes, lo did capture the young manes. Lord China, young manes. From the beginning, this has been my only question. That's same shape of the catching my marabes. They go good to marabes. Sem said, Shepherd said, catching my catching can't teach a chures. A captilla the date some did they jelly a young good document with? When you say that one state of mind has changed to another, when you say that the mind changes, you're not saying that one state of mind is the other state of mind. You see, I mean, that's his real question. He's not saying, can the mind over time change? He's saying, can the way in which one state of mind views things actually be the way the other state of mind views it? Are those two ways of viewing something contradictory or not? Did that bad look at it? Did Gowers? Like it's saying you could do by yin second and tiny type of that saying that yes said but the law said did the Gowers.
If something.
Okay, let him go ahead. Let him go. Okay, if you want to raise an objection, go ahead. But generally, don't do that. Okay? No, go ahead.
Yeah.
This whole hassle started from page 10, third line from the bottom. But the book says, right there, that if that state of mind is holding that nominal things exist by definition, then it's also holding that they exist by definition in the way that in the way that the mind-only school says it, middle way school says it is. Is that right? That's what the text says. Okay. Okay. Got that clear? I'll say it again. The state of mind which is holding that it exists by definition as the mind-only school describes it is also a state of mind which is holding that it exists by definition as in the way that the Prasangika holds it. Is that possible or not? Yes. He just got you saying it wasn't possible. Well, with one state of mind have those two aspects at the same time.
But they're both wrong.
In the mind-only school?
To hold that imputed natures are Rangi Zinikidrupa is
in the mind-only school.
Is wrong in the mind-only school.
No. From the point of view of the mind-only school, can one state of mind have those two aspects at the same time?
As long as they're concordant aspects.
Rangitani Kiduba Yin Zin, Sem Sambe Lu Shi Shepi Rangitani Kiduba Yin Se Ki Lo Dida, Umatan Gyoe Luki Shi Shabi Rangitani Kiduba Yin Se, the Lo Nidi, Younger Mares, Nyamdu Younger Mares.
원장 네 랑쟁이 여봐 지마 얘는 탄주 랑쟁이 주버서 탄이다 딱 깨서 랑쟁이 주버 하나 로 찌기 탄주 그 군다 기띵도 샘담에 때부터 랑이 띵 주고 진손 근데 로 대랑랑기 탄주 때부터 랑쟁이 주버 지마 요아래 징기레 스피지나
But the book says that with nominally existing things, that one state of mind can and does simultaneously believe that it exists by definition in the way that the mind-only school describes existing by definition, and at the same time believes that it exists by definition in the way that the Prasangika holds existing by definition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they must,
Just names and concepts.
must be both motions.
Dida niga zingre, niga loksheres. Niga zingres.
탄이라고 딱 생각을 했잖아. 이게 봐 진손아 대두아 타체도 로직 아니 괜히 줘봐 진손아 탄이에 딱 비네 탄주에 줘봐 지랑 줘봐 진당고 가르래서나 당이 된 줘봐 찍고 딱 많이 맞지 그 채고를 찍었는데 탄이에 딱 생각을 했잖아.
Don't lose yourself in the words existing by definition or having a definitive existence. Now let's go to the real meaning of it for the Majjhimika, for the middle way people. They think that when you say this thing exists by definition, what you're saying is when you look for the thing that got the name independent of the projection, independent of the name, you do find an existing thing. Can that same state of mind hold it to be existing by definition in the way that the mind-only school describes existing by definition?
We just got done saying it couldn't.
If it
Can't you think about it? That is soon was. 나 영식이 말해.
다 대체도 비지 나는 디세요. 대대다 디는 대지 욕다시게. 배자 디는 시샤지 로고디 욕다시게.
But if you accept what the book says itself at this point and you try to think about it that way, it's a big hassle, right? There's a big problem here. Okay. 욕다 안 해. Now we got a philosophical mess and we got to clean up this philosophical mess.
욕다 상당 걸 가르치잖아. 다 소소스 삼무다네 직삼무다네 직해고지. 뭐 찍고 닭이 있고 자꾸 단위에 딱 된다 했잖아. 배트 꼬마 탄거 고자 그냥 고자니 그냥 언제 줘 말이야. 생각 먹어 시작해. 로 독자 그 군다 호라나 단위에 딱 된다 했잖아. 이게 버진 세상 되는 욕다 창 와서 다 이게 비지 나는 진세지 꼭 가르세요 그거래. 세나? 그 탄유 가르 군다 코 샘담 시샤 전에 군다데 랑기 체니 주바 지게 이로 그 군다 코 랑기 체니기 grup스 랑기 체니기 예스지 말아 예스 진짜 여방 엄마 거랑 맞지는 그 메케지로 예스 진짜 그 나는 예스 수다 안지 실례 삼삼모 깨자 되레스나 욕다 상디스 대상 여방 엄마 짜상고 제면 예스 예스 가르잖아 탄예 딱된 세잖아 이봐 예스 대지마 예스 콜라 가르치는 예세지 직수시대 삼무실래 그랬어. 유튜브 가르치는 콜라 삼무 랑기 제니기 예 사람인다 예세 tik지 수지 삼무 그날 예세지 삼무실래 그랬어. 그러나 요라고 요라야야 녀타래.
나리
프라지 예세 그 용어마거라 징기와 말이야. 요라 예세 그 용어마거라 징기와. 이나 그런 콜라 유튜브시 삼무다. 콜 콜라 아지 유튜브 삼다. 요방 엄마거라 징이와 말아. 아지. 요방 엄마거라 징이 너무 야가. 코마지나요. 라지 예세 되면 유튜브지 삼게. 이거 또 코드 잡고 싶네. 여봐 단위 딱 된선에서는 이봐 예스 맞지 말했어. 예스 맞지 말했어. 랑기 체니기 예스 시비 유주지 축구를 먹고 수루지를 내봐 이제 비트하나 좋고 아디 녹탄 상기 진대지 항상.
You have to do some like gymnastics to get to the way in which this and he likes this kind of stuff. You have to get to some kind of twisting around to get it to be correct here, because he's saying one state of mind is holding that it does exist by definition, right? Does exist by definition, And that same state of mind is viewing it as existing by definition in the way that the Madhyamika explain existing by definition. And in the mind-only school, you can't do that. You can't say those two things at the same time. If you were saying it existed by definition in the mind-only school, that's a wrong state of mind. If you say it exists by definition as the Madhyamika explain it in the mind-only school, that's a correct state of mind. Because then you'd be saying that when you look for the thing that got the projection, independent of the projection, it really has existence. So if you take this on face value, this statement, that in the mind-only school, one state of mind could hold it as existing by definition, and at the same time hold it existing by definition as the Prasangika explain it, that'd be an impossible state of mind. So you can't explain it that way. So you have to look at the first half of that, where it says the mind is holding that it exists by definition, and you have to say that that state of mind is not what it sounds like. You have to concentrate on that state of mind saying, this object is something that exists by definition. You see what I mean? It's concentrating on the existing part and not on the existing by definition. Okay? So when you explain this passage, when you get to this passage, that state of mind is not so much fixated on whether it exists by definition as explained by the mind-only school. That state of mind is fixated on the question of, does this thing exist or not? Okay? And then the by definition is just sort of an aside. Okay? So if you say, according to the mind-only school, can there be one state of mind that says about one object at the same time, this does exist, and it does exist by definition in the way that the Madhyamika explains it, is that okay?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. If you kind of don't say the by definition in the first half too loud, okay, and you're concentrating on the existence part and not the by definition part, you know, because here it's a little bit different. The wording is not quite by definition. They left out a syllable. It doesn't say Rankitseni ki yopa, it says Ransenki yopa. Exists by itself. You got caught. Okay? It doesn't say Rankitseni. It just says Ransenki yopa, which in philosophy means have its own existence. Doesn't mean have its own definitive existence. The definitive part got left out here. Look carefully. And there's no Tseniki, Niki. Okay? It's not there. So really the first state of mind is just saying, this thing exists. It has its own way of being, and it exists by definition as in the way that the mind and the Madhyamika explain it. That's okay. That's no problem. You got hung up on that Tseniki. It doesn't say Tseniki. Go look at it. Page 10, third line from the bottom. It just says wrong Tsenki. That was a long syllable. Nothing. Different. Although I have previously locked the Madhyamika door 2 or 3 times and not let you go there, now I'm going to unlock the door and we're going to sneak in there for a bit, and I'll give you an example, an illustration from the other side of that door. I'll go to the other side of that door, to that other room called Madhyamika School. I'll pick up a little illustration, since you guys had some Madhyamika teaching before, and I'll bring it back out to the Mind-Only School room, and I'll show it to you, and you'll catch it. For example, if we go to the Madhyamika room, right, and we pull out the Madhyamika belief that a water pitcher has no true existence, right, the state of mind that's looking at the water pitcher and says, right, independent of my projections, right, this water pitcher has no true existence, that's a wrong state of mind. That's not a correct state of mind. But in one sense, it's a correct state of mind because it is attributing to a vase existence. It is attributing to the pitcher some existence. In one corner of that state of mind is a little sliver of state of mind that's saying this thing exists.
Because you're saying it does truly exist?
Yeah, because it says it does truly exist. When a wrong state of mind says about a water pitcher, this thing exists truly, there's a sliver of correctness about it because somewhere in that state of mind is thinking that the water pitcher exists. So from that state of mind, very good example. He says, very good example for understanding this particular line. Okay. He's not correct about the mode of its existence, but it's correct about its existence. So it's got a little correctness in it. You better take that illustration and carry it over here to this sentence or else you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have to use that illustration and park it over here in this sentence and use what you learned from that illustration here or you're going to be in trouble. That's just an illustration I'm trying to give you so you can take it over to the mind-only school and try to understand it better. For example, I think I got it straight. There's somebody doing their Om Mani Padme Hums. They're doing a rosary of Om Mani Padme Hums, and they're doing it kind of quick. They're Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. And somebody else looks at them and might say, they're not doing it very sincerely, or they're not doing very well, right? It's a good state of mind or a wrong state of mind. It's actually a wrong state of mind. But somewhere in that state of mind is the perception that this person is reciting Om Mani Padme Hum. So from that point of view, he is perceiving that the person is reciting Om Mani Padme Hum, and he's correct. He's incorrect in his assumption about the other person's state of mind, about how they're doing their Om Mani Padme Hum. But there's a sliver of correctness about his state of mind, even as he thinks this person's not serious about their Om Mani Padme Hum. These are just illustrations that are similar to this other case. When we get to philosophical conundrums in the text, we gotta approach them and we gotta resolve them. And this is one way of resolving this particular hassle in this particular book. This book is famous for having these very, very difficult statements in it. And you have to wrestle with them and come to some kind of conclusion like this. You can't go up to a work by the great glorious Jetsun Kappa and say, oh, it looks like he made a slip here, you know, he made a boo-boo here. You must approach it from the point of view of he's correct, he's trying to teach us something, and what is it we're supposed to realize here? You've been sitting here for 2.5 hours. You better stop here or you guys are going to die. Okay, so we'll leave it there and we'll come back later. Okay. You ready, Alina? Then leave quickly, smoothly, cleanly. That's a custom. Okay. Sangye Shindu Mintewagi Doku Namda Shina Chepasho Idam Guru Radha Mandala Kamuyatayami Adi Kewakun Sanami Shi Tozoshin Sanami